Ignorance truly is bliss. Because ignorance within the illustrious world of it lies many people. A place where people go and they get the highest of the high. You can be anything you want to be in the illustrious world of ignorance. You can lie, you can cheat, you can get away with whatever you would like to get away with. You can harm people, you can break laws. You can be whatever you want to be in this world. Because this world is based upon one's blindness of reality, one's emptiness of knowledge, and one's ignorance of truth and not knowingness of life. That is what it's based upon. So being in this world, you don't have to ask questions. If you don't know the answers to the questions, it's okay. Because in this world, you can easily say that I didn't know. You know, you can easily say that. You could do wrong and make mistakes and simply say, I just didn't know. Only problem with this world and being in this world, just like most of your narcotics and your drugs, it's a very acute addiction that comes along with it. For some odd reason, never want to leave it. Afraid of knowledge, because once knowledge comes into the play, it appears that the fun and excitement of life starts to slowly drift away. In other words, the things that you would do out of ignorance, you can't do anymore, because now you're held accountable for the knowledge that you've acquired in doing those things and understanding the reasons why those things shouldn't be done. So life becomes a little dull. You know, so just like any drug, it's hard to break, it's hard to get off of it. You know, the illustrious world of ignorance it's hard to leave that world because it's so much security in that world. You know, you have so many excuses you can offer up for the things that you do. You don't have to answer to anyone. See? You can die in that world and be fine with it. Even if dying in that world, you're not knowing the fact that you're not really getting away with anything, because you have to return and do this whole thing over again until you get it right. It's really of no consequence until you get there. It really isn't. There is that part of us that seeks knowledge, that part of us that seeks understanding and mental prosperity and light. There is that part of us that does. But just as it is in space, we live in total, complete darkness. And the little light that we have in this ethereal realm of darkness that we call space is only bright enough to light our lives and to give us understanding and knowing that there are other things around us that exist just like we do. We have now sight to see the beautiful things that have been created. For without that light, the beauty and all of its bliss that lives within the earth or the world that we call Earth will never be seen or even acknowledged or even appreciated by us here. It wouldn't be. See? So, darkness represents ignorance, and that darkness that we live within, that we call space, is ethereal. It's so dark you can feel it. In other words, it's so much darkness there that even light, as great as it is, cannot penetrate it. The sun that lights our planet is great, and as unanimous as it is to us, it is nothing but a speck of light in the greater scheme of things. Not even that light can truly penetrate all the darkness that is of that place that we call space. Can't even penetrate it. So it is easy to see if we're living in complete ethereal darkness, and this darkness is all around us, and we only have this flicker of light that glams its beautiful sunshine on the earth that we call the sun. It is really easy to see why ignorance in the world is so prevalent and is so much more appreciated than light and knowledge. Because it's addictive. Our very being, our very essence and origin of our existence is living within the realm of darkness. So therefore our minds cannot be so far from that. Our minds are filled with that exact same darkness. We are addicted to ignorance because ignorance is where we live. It is the realm of our existence. Case in point, there are so many beautiful things out there in the ethereal heavens of space that we will probably in our lifetime never get to know about or see. Because of the simple fact that, for one, we are too insignificant in our design, physically speaking. In other words, we're not great enough to be able to pierce the veil of the earth to go see those things. Secondly, it's so much darkness in space to find those light or those little flickers of light of animate existence would be almost so far-fetched and will probably take us a lifetime to even reach because it is so great. The darkness, it overshadows everything. It is so great and so unanimous. To find even a speck of light would take a lifetime. See? So this darkness that we're speaking about, or this ignorance that we speak of, it is an addictive thing that we're talking about. It is the very origin of our existence. It is everything that we are. So for light to be able to penetrate that and want to come into the knowing that there are living and animate things that live within this darkness, and that those things that are living within this darkness have feelings, have desires and complexions just like we do, is a blessing. It is truly a blessing. And after all is said and done, the ignorance that is within the mind of the individual must at some point seek light. It is almost impossible. And this is just me wishful thinking or thinking outside the box. What if it were possible that there was a conspiracy going on in the heavens, where all the light, the sun, and all the energy out there had a conspiracy to try to eradicate all the darkness that could ever exist there. Come to one big superpower to eradicate all the darkness. Well, would that be possible? Well, the truth about the matter is it may not be possible there. But within the mind, heart, and soul of the individual that seeks knowledge, it is very possible that one could actually be clean and clear of ignorance and be in full life or full knowledge. Now, I must say this, there are some that are in a state of ignorance that will never find light and will die in that state of ignorance. It's some that are just not chosen to ever inherit the light or see light and see things as they ought to be seen. There are those that will literally die in their ignorance. And this is the case because, as I stated before, ignorance truly is bliss. It's a very blissful state, an elated state that all humans and the like wish to stay and attain to. It's the most beautiful place on earth, ignorance. There's no accountability because you just don't know. There's no real consequences for someone that just doesn't know. Your relief is that you don't know. And any mistake that you've made is because you didn't know. But then after you continue to repeat the course, then what you don't know becomes what you know. And now you are left without any excuse for failure, any excuse for mistakes or shortcomings. You are now in a place to where you are accountable. And in that accountability comes relief. And in that accountability comes prosperity and eventually paradise. in its greatest form.